Ilaria Mosconi!
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was the magical kingdom of Padua. The kingdom was ruled by King Nunzio and his family, Queen Carla and their children, Prince Dario and the little Ilaria. As every family, also this one had their problems. The two dysfunctional sisters, Ilona and Ilsa, who did everything they could to make the life of good little Ilaria difficult.
One day, Padova was haunted by a dark force. The evil Count Decimo and his devilish crony threatened the innocence of little Ilaria and the whole kingdom. To save the kingdom, the king and the queen had to take a difficult decision. They sent little Ilaria away to another land, far, far away, where she would be trained to become a knight and go on a quest. Quest? To find the Holy Grail that would save Padova and all its inhabitants. After a long, hard journey, little Ilaria arrived in the beautiful mountain village of Lausanne, where she would be initiated to the secret art of combat and wizardry.
But her arrival wasn't easy. She and the other young knight apprentices had to live under very poor and dire circumstances. Okay, well, fortunately, she was not alone in her fate. She met and befriended Christian and Mirella, who had also been sent away to be educated, and they formed a bond based on an oath to help each other out. At the Knights' Academy down by the Lake of Lausanne, she joined a group of apprentices led by the famous knightress Nicola. Together, they were educated in the art of disguise and went through many adventures, preparing them for their hard lives as knights.
One day, during her training, while little Ilaria was walking through the forest of Lausanne, she heard the heart-breaking squeal of an animal in pain. She followed the noise and saw a mini pig disappearing into the woods. Driven by the desire to help the little mini pig, Ilaria followed it into the big dark enchanted forest. She got lost, and after wandering around alone for hours, trying to find her way back, suddenly, she stumbled across a company of dwarfs that lived in the forest, where they brewed a magical potion which they introduced little Ilaria to, and which Ilaria liked quite a lot. She stayed with the dwarfs for a while, until she needed to get back on her quest to become a knight and save the kingdom. One particularly kind dwarf, that was very fond of her, helped her find the way back out of the forest. On the other side of the forest, a surprise awaited little Ilaria.
She and her fellow knight apprentices moved into the castle, where they were greeted with a big welcoming banquet. The enchanted castle was full of magic creatures. There were the princesses, Julia and Lisa, and the jesters, Andrea and Mauro.
What does it mean, jesters?
Ma che ne so, it means something like they do gestures, you know?
But jesters.
Jesters.
Go ahead.
And many magical animals in the stable that Ilaria looked after. Another one of her chores in the castle was to take care of one of the two princesses who had a well-kept secret. She was a polymorph and could transform from the purest of creatures to a 20th century party girl and beyond, into a form of Japanese sumo fighter.
Sometimes Ilaria and the polymorph were even having little rationally led argument.
Si smazzavano le botti!
Non chiude mai l'ascensore!
One day, however, the little Ilaria remembered the secret potion she had learned about from the dwarf in the forest. She brewed it and discovered that she could use this to keep the princesses calm and happy. Ilaria used this new power and kept all the inhabitants and guests of the castle under her reign by rendering them powerless with massive amount of delicious food.
At the castle, little Ilaria finds many friends, some nicer than others, but all together they joined in for big festivities and celebrations at the castle, where they danced and sang, and due to the enchanted nature of the castle, its inhabitants changed their exterior and the epoch they lived in every time. Many great friends walked in and out of the castle, but one day...
A group of impostors mingled among them, trying to gain power and threaten the peaceful life of inhabitants of the castle of Lausanne. They took the appearance of the princesses, knights, and other friendly creatures to realize their evil plan. Introduced the dark wizard Daniele as new king of the castle.
Madonna che naso. What a nose, what a nose. Little Ilaria saw the threat, but during the tumult
Yeah, right.
of trying to save the castle, a big fight erupted. The peaceful inhabitants of the castle managed to fend off the enemy using their special forces, but many members of the castle's household had been injured during the battle. In light of these new events, it became urgent for little Ilaria to leave the castle and go on a big quest to find the Holy Grail to save her kingdom and now also Lausanne from the dark forces looming over it.
A group of brave knights left the castle to go on a trip around the world, passing many heroic tests and adventures looking for the Holy Grail. They passed over land and sea, crossed deserts. In the middle of the Sahara, little Ilaria defied the magic snake charmer, who tried to trick her with his charms into being attacked by his cobra. All the while, the group slowly got smaller and smaller. Many young knights had to be left behind, until, in the end, little Ilaria found herself all alone, having to face the final part of the quest on her own.
She had to climb the highest mountains, take on many disguises to make it through difficult situations, until in the end, after a long travel to the other end of the world, at the bottom of the deepest sea, she found a treasure that contained a scripture telling her what to do, how to finally reach the grail that would allow her to set her kingdom free.
To win against the dark forces, she had to face the final, mortal enemy and win in an epic showdown. Te la facciamo noi la torta adesso!
Soul Dracula.
Ma dove è finita Mirella?
Boh, mi pare... Parigi.
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 Si è mangiato bene all'albero suo, però, vero?
Ma io sono arrivato all'albero.
Ah, è vero, ha fatto le panelle.
Amen. Little girl. Let me do it, baby. Do it. Do it again. Oh, do it. Do it. So, Dracula.